like to go open it to questions. Just please, one question a person, please. The mic's out.
You were talking about what needs to go to Mars always and what you're very fast of. I am wondering, does Mission Control in Houston realize that it needs to refashion itself into mission support? Or those people, perhaps 45 minutes away before they, if they say, Houston, we've had a problem, if they're really far away on Mars, it might be 45 minutes before they hear say again. So they better be very self-reliant. But if you train people to be that self-reliant, they're going to be autonomous. And I'm not saying that just like that. I've been involved with the Mars Desert Research Station for many years. I've led the station for several years. I can tell you this much. If people are self-reliant and autonomous, they're pretty hard to handle because they go like, I'm on Mars, come and get me. And so as mission control, which we never called mission control, we call it mission support, because that's what you are. And that's a frame of mind you have to have, because you cannot control their day from minute to minute anymore.
Another question? I can't see. Trey, you want to say something? I've got an answer.
I mean, that's a good point. It really is. And currently we do track the day minute by minute, and you're absolutely right. But a lot of those folks and a lot of the folks that work in my control room, they're exactly like you said. They're autonomous, type A. And they already tell you that.
It's going to Mars is not just about technology and hardware and launch vehicles. You bring in a whole culture with you. So.
This question is actually for Dr. Becker. You apparently showed that the microgravity enhanced the virulence of salmonella. And my question to you is this a trend that you saw with all the pathogenic bacteria that you studied? And if so, how would you suggest this applies to other traits and other than virulence traits in microbes that we might find on the space station?
Well, that's a really excellent question, and it has been noted in other types of bacteria. So it does appear to be something that occurs in microgravity. How does that translate out? I hear a lot of people say, like, why does this really happen? And I think I can answer your question if you let me talk about what I think microgravity is really doing here. I think it's functioning as a stressor. And bacteria respond to stresses, and they respond to reducing pH conditions or changing humidity. And in this case, you're almost getting rid of gravity vector. And so I think that they see that and they respond because they're extremely sensitive to wanting to survive in any of their surroundings. And so, as opposed to just being something that can be attributable just to virulence, I don't know that that's really the case. I think that they're responding to an environment so that they ensure their survival, and those two may not always go together. I hope that answered your question.
Question over here.
Hi, I'm Alan Boyle with MSNBC. I wanted to ask Pete about the projects that you have lined up. That was from between now and September?
The list of 5 that I had on the last page is proposed for a year from now, starting.
I gotcha. Okay, so good. That gives you a little more time. So you'd be preparing hardware between now and then for the Spheres project and also, I suppose, getting Robonaut ready to go. Are there other things that Robonaut might be doing between now and this increment, or is that going to be the first tryout for Robonaut?
Let me catch the first part of that first. The nice part about this list that the team worked out for us, there's really not anything that we have to launch to be able to do those 5. There might be a little bit of consumables for Spheres, for instance. It's gas jets. We haven't really looked that far into that.
Or a camera.
Adding a camera. As far as Robonaut, I don't know a lot about Robonaut other than we want to get him out as soon as we can, get him active. There is a whole list of plans, a list of objectives that the Robonaut sponsors have on their list. This that I presented today was the exploration world wanting to get involved in that same list.
I'd like to take one more short question.
Hi, I have a follow-up to the last question, actually. So first, you mentioned that microgravity is a stressor. So what is it that's different about microgravity as a stressor as opposed to one of these other stressors that you mentioned that could be replicated in the laboratory, like a pH? And the second question, follow-up to that, is how did you identify the knockout genes to eliminate the stressor condition?
That's actually a really long answer to your second question. But why do I think it's a different stressor? Is that what you're asking me? I don't think I
Well,
understand.
what's special about microgravity if you can...
We can take this
Gina, let's take that off.
Yeah, we can take this
that
off.
Okay, take it offline.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone.